$20. Hi. Hi everybody. We're here with Mrs. Calabash. Come into the kitchen, and Maggie. Now we've got to, it's Paddy's Day today, or I'm cooking for Paddy's Day. I love Paddy's Day. We always, we lived in honour of Paddy's Day, we're going to make a Guinness shepherd's pie using a good stout and some little cupcakes. And this is a recipe I devised for when I had children's classes, and it's all in one cupcake, and it's chocolate because I found that the kids like chocolate, and they're easy to make, and we can decorate them the way we like. So I'm going to decorate them and make them into Paddy's cakes. So let's get started with the shepherd's pie because I want to get it starting to cook. So let's go over to the stove and have a look, see what we've got. Come with me. Now, I do have the onions just starting to cook. The onions and the garlic, because everybody that knows me knows that I like to cook the onions slowly. It brings out the sweetness in the onions. Now you can use red onions, orange coloured onions or white onions, and so let's just make sure that that's warm, just heated through. And I've got here a pound of lean ground beef. I brought it out of the fridge for about 20 minutes so that it can get up to room temperature, and it has a lot more flavour when it does that. So let's just do this like this. Paddy's Day used to be the day for planting potatoes when we lived in Ireland. Our potatoes were always put in the ground on Paddy's Day or near Paddy's Day, ready for the summer. And we used to, the children all used to congregate, and we used to have lots of children and big meals. Nothing, it was something like this that we used to have, a big shepherd's pie. All the neighbours would come in, we'd go visiting. It was a lovely holiday. And I remember one day I was, because we lived in County Meath, that's quite close to the border, and it was in the times of the Troubles, so we were there in the 70s, and we were in Drogheda. And we'd been shopping in Drogheda the day before Paddy's Day, and it was a nice day, and the army was there with a gun pointing through some canvas, and I lifted up the canvas to have a look, and it was packed full of sliced bread. There wasn't a space in there. It was just full of bread, but the gun was pointing. So we had fun. It was, it's a lovely place to go and visit and live. Very relaxed. I love it. There we are. Now that you can see the meat is browning, it won't take long to cook. And I'm going to put the herbs in now. And I've got thyme, dried thyme and rosemary. Now with the recipe, what does it say? It says half a teaspoonful of dried thyme. If you're using fresh thyme, double that, it's a teaspoon. And the same with the rosemary. The dried herbs are more intense than the fresh herbs. So let's put this like this. It's smelling really, really good. And in here is the magic ingredients. Now this is Guinness, and it's Worcester sauce. Now in England we always call it Worcester sauce, not Worcestershire sauce. It's made in the town of Worcester and in the county of Worcestershire. And the Lee Perrins factory is right next to the Worcester China factory. So it was about an hour away from where we lived when we lived in Shropshire. And so I paid a lot of visit. I had quite a lot of the Worcester China, because it was a really, the second store was really good. And so I do go for a lot of the no-name or the brand products, but really there's only one Worcester sauce, and that is Lee Perrins. It's a very, very closely guarded secret, their recipe. So because this is on the recipe, you'll see that it says to drain the meat. Well, I've got a very, very lean ground beef. So I don't have a lot of fat that's come out of it. So I'm going to keep that liquid in there. It adds to the flavour. But if I was using just a normal ground beef, not even a medium, then I would take away some of that fat. Now, as I say, this is the secret ingredients. This is Guinness and Worcester sauce, which has been boiled and reduced. It says half a bottle of Guinness. Well, my can of Guinness had 500 millilitres in. So I used 250. I put it in a pan like that. Now, if you're wanting to reduce a liquid, use a wide pan, and then it evaporates more quickly. And by reducing the Guinness and the Worcester sauce, the flavour is intense, and you've boiled away all the alcohol. But it makes a really, really nice base to a shepherd's pie. And so we're going to add half, 2 cups of diced tomatoes with the juice. Let's bring this up to the boil. And we want to cook this until it's thickened and the meat is cooked through. But I'm going to test for seasoning now, and then we can add some more seasoning later. But we just have to thicken this sauce. So it's quick and it's easy. You can make this in the morning and reheat, so that you don't have a lot to do for the evening meal. Let's just taste that. It's going to need some seasoning. Takes me back. Definitely needs some seasoning. So we've got Mrs. Calabash seasoning here, which, remember, is 3 salt to 1 pepper. Let's put some of that in. The salt will bring out the flavour as well. Let's turn that up. I've left the Worcester sauce out just in case we need to add a drop more. That is rather nice. Right, we're going to let that we don't want to boil it, we just need to simmer it. If you boil the meat, the protein, it's going to harden. So let's just let that cook itself. I'm not going to put the lid on because I want the steam to evaporate and I want to boil it down. So now we're going back to the butcher block and we're going to make our all-in-one cupcakes. So let's go back. We'll have to keep slipping back and having a look at this. So let me leave this over here. I don't need that with me. Right. Now, we've got the all-in-one cupcakes and we've got the frosting to go on the top. I'm being lazy. and I don't want to have to wash out my beaters again. So if I make the cupcakes first, because it's got chocolate in, I'm going to have to wash out the beaters. Whereas if I just make the frosting, I can use the same beaters. So this is what we call buttercream or frosting. And I've used half a cup of butter or margarine and 4 ounces of icing sugar. I've got a little milk here in case I need just to let it down a little bit, because we're going to pipe this and we need to add some flavouring. I thought today with using chocolate, I thought peppermint would be rather nice, and we need to make it green. So makes a lot of noise. And that's a nice consistency for piping. Now, we want it green. You can make your own green colouring. If you've got orange and blue, that makes green. I didn't have any orange colour in him. Now, how green do we want it to be? These are fun to make with the children, especially as it's going to be March break. And you can add any flavouring. And this is a peppermint, a pure peppermint flavouring. So just be careful with this. It is quite strong. We can add a little more, but we can't take it away. Let's just taste that. That's nice. It's, I'm going to add a drop more peppermint. Just a drop more. There we are. One more whirl with the... And there we are. With the spatula, we mix everything together. We can come back to that. Let's just shake these off like that. I do have, because it's getting quite warm in here, and if the icing gets too soft, I can't pipe it. So I do have just a little icing sugar that I can add to it if it's not going to hold. Now, this is for the cupcakes. And I'm only going to put 6 in a, do 6 in front of you, because you don't want to see me busy going for 24 cupcakes, because that will make 24. Now these cupcakes freeze really, really well. The ones I'm going to be decorating today, I made the other day and I froze. So I want to get the recipe right for you. So we've got the flour in there. I've used cake flour. If you use all-purpose flour, you might have to have a drop of milk or water to it because it's a stronger flour. In here, we've got baking powder and baking soda. I've got sugar. Now, the sugar, the recipe said vanilla essence. Add some vanilla flavouring. I'm not going to add flavouring because I've got a vanilla pod in my sugar. And so the sugar is already flavoured. chocolate powder, cocoa. The darkness of the cupcake will depend on the quality of the cocoa. I made some the other day and I used a lighter cocoa as opposed to this, which is a darker cocoa. 5 eggs, which have come up to room temperature. And this is one cup of sour cream, which is half a tub. Now the sour cream has lactic acid in it, and that is a raising agent. You may be looking at this now and thinking, what the heck is she doing? But it works. Fingers crossed. Here we go. Right, so let's move that out of the way. Just a quick scoop around with the spatula to make sure that all the flour and everything in there is mixed together. And that's it. That's the cupcakes made. It's just one more quick whiz. Just knock any extra off, like that. Right. I'm going to wash my hands. They're rather messy. And I'm going to nip back to the stove just to give my meat a quick stir. That is coming on very well. Let's turn it down a little bit. Look, you can see how it's thickening. There. Let it just bubble away. So let's go back. Now this will make about 24 large cupcakes. If you've got medium or smaller bun tins, then obviously it will make more, depending on the children. I mean, ours are for adults, so I'm going to move that. Ours are for adults, but if you've got small children, then use the smaller ones. You get more out of it. So you can use a ice cream scoop and put it in, but I always do it this way. An ice cream scoop is better because then you know exactly how much is going in there. But this is the way I was taught. And unfortunately, I'm a creature of old habits. Or put it this way, old habits die hard. 350 in the oven. My oven is a little bit on the slow side, so I've got this at 360, and they will take about 10 to 15 minutes. So that's why I made some earlier, because I want to have them cool, ready for decorating. There we are. Now, if you're having an adult Paddy's party, then you could put some Baileys in here instead of a little Baileys in the chocolate mixture, or a little Baileys in the frosting. But today we've got children, so we're not using the Baileys. So let's put these in the oven. Just clean that. If you leave any mess on there, it's going to burn. So we'll put those in the oven and they will take about 10 to 15 minutes. So let's put them in the oven. That is thickening beautifully. So whilst that's thickening, let's just decorate the cupcakes. Yes, this I'm going to add just a little more icing sugar to this because the room has got warm and it's got a little bit soft. Now you see in here I've got a vanilla pod. So my icing sugar and sugar is always nicely flavoured. Just going to put it through the strainer because I'm going to pipe this and I don't want to get a bump where it won't go through. It's a tea strainer actually, but I find it really, really useful for dusting cakes and just sieving a little bit of icing sugar at a time. That's better. I think that will hold. It's a little bit on the soft side still. I'm going to add a little more. Otherwise it won't hold its pattern. Whoops, there we are. Now, I don't have a piping bag, so I've made a piping bag. And we always used to make our own piping bags because when I was training, we didn't have disposable piping bags. You made your own. And they're really, really easy to make. There we are. Where is it? Put that there. Now you see we've got a piece of parchment paper which you make into a triangle, and then put your fingers there, turn that one round. We're going to make a cone like that. Pull it up. We want to have a point. Can you see? Like that. And to secure it, then we just do it like that. Now we have to choose a piping nozzle. Is that one? We don't want anything too fine. That one's a little bit fine. Let's go with this one. You can see they look rather old. They are. I trained 1960, and these were our nozzles which we had when we were training. They were expensive, but good nozzles last. Now, this is something that I can make a mess of, is cutting. We want that to go into there. So let's, it might not be, there we are. Look, it comes through just like that. So now we need to put some of this in there. And we'll just decorate up these half dozen. So just fold it in like that. Turn it down and let's see what we're going to do with it. Now when you're decorating, hold your piping bag up like that. Press down and just pull up. Every so often you might just have to clear the nozzle like that. No, that nozzle has got blocked. Excuse me, I'm going back here. So let me just poke that. That's what I was afraid of with the icing sugar. That no, it's blocked, you see. So what if it blocks like that? Let's not mess around with it. We will empty that and make another one if we want. So let's just circle it like that. Yeah, it's got well and truly blocked. And I don't have a larger one. So, don't fail. It happens in the best regulated circles. Let's just smooth some of that on like that. And we will decorate that. Let's just make another bag. Well, let's take that out. Wash my hands. That nozzle is a little fine, and that's about the largest nozzle that I've got. So you can see me doing this from start to finish. There we go. That's right, like that. Just cut it down. And you can make this for cream or anything. Cut it down. The secret is to make sure that you've got a good seam there. Put your hand in, bring it round. My hands are a little bit damp. There we are. And you want to make sure that you've got a point there. Bring it round like that. And we're going to choose a different nozzle. Where's my nozzles? Look, I've even got a little bell for Christmas. Boom, boom, boom. That's quite a nice one. Let's just measure it. Yeah. Which one? There we are. Let's put these away. Slip that in. There we go. We won't waste any. There we are. Put that in the garbage can. Let's see if we have better luck this time. If not, I'm going to spread them all like that and we'll decorate them. I don't like too much frosting on, so that's why I'm being a little bit cagey with the frosting. I think for these that we're going to just decorate these like this. Put some on. You can let the children play with it because it's spring break and they can have fun decorating Paddy's Day cakes, especially if we've got some transfers like I've got. You can see on the plate I've got the little transfers. I wanted to get some candies, but I couldn't find any this year. So here we go. We always used to make these. and that one's there. I want to get rid of that. Wipe my table and my fingers. Move that. And look what we've got. Look, Paddy Day transfers. So let's have a look. There's a hat. Don't stick them on too hard because you have to get them off again, because these aren't edible. I couldn't get any edible. Oh, a shamrock. Definitely need a shamrock, don't we? Oh, there's 2 shamrocks there, joined together. Nice. And a teddy bear in a hat. And what else? Oh, there's a toadstool. Let's have the toadstool. So there, we've got Paddy Day cakes on an ice cream plate. There's the rainbow and the leprechaun, and that's Happy Paddy's Day. So I'm going to wash my hands now because I'm somewhat sticky. And we're ready for the shepherd's pie, so come back with me. The shepherd's pie is, the filling is cooked. I'm just going to turn it, I want it to come up to heat. I'm going to put that on. I've got some water in there for some cabbage, because what would Paddy's Day be without cabbage? Nah, we always have cabbage. Got potatoes on in the back here. Oh, they're doing beautifully. So we've got to strain the potatoes. Just shake them. I'm going to put them on this just to, I want to dry them off a little bit. There we are. Got the potatoes. The meat is cooked. We've got to taste that. The water is ready for the cabbage. Let's put the cabbage in. Let's cook the cabbage. Turn that down. Now for the potatoes, I've got some butter and my potato peeler, masher, some butter and cheese. Now, I love Irish cheese. It's got a saltiness about it. And so this is a mixture of Irish cheese. I always have odds and ends in the cupboard, my cheese drawer. And this is a mixture of various Irish cheeses. So we're going to mash the potatoes with the cheese. And then we're going to taste it. When I first went to Ireland, I went, because the butcher used to sell the cheese, and I went in, and we'd got 3 children and 2 stepchildren. So in England, cheese was cheap because it was subsidised. And I got into Ireland, I got into the butcher, and I sort of said, I want X amount of ground beef, mince is called over there, and 2 pounds of cheese, please. And he said, have you just come off the boat? So I said, yes. I said, why? He said, cheese is more expensive than steak in Ireland because it's not subsidised. And the meat was fantastic. Oh, it was to die for. Now we need to taste that. I'm suspecting it might need a little bit more seasoning. Not an awful lot, but a little bit. Now at this stage, I haven't got, I tried to put my casserole in my little toasty oven, but it was too near the top. It's not going to work, it's going to break the casserole. Because I wanted to brown the potatoes off on top of the shepherd's pie. So, in homage to Paddy, we're going to put plenty of dried parsley in there and make a greenish topping. There we are. And we'll taste that again. This is the best part of this job, you get tasting. There's just enough flavouring of the cheese to bring it through. It's not too strong. You need a good strong cheese for that. It's no good using a mild cheese because it doesn't work. So we're going to take this back to the butcher block. I'm going to move those because they're getting rather warm. There we are. We need the potato. I'm going to move that over there because I want that to cook quickly. There we are. Turn that one off. There we go. Oh, there we are. Now, it says a 2-quart casserole. That's 4 pints. So I'm not quite sure how big this one is, but my shamrock. We said we'd taste that again, didn't we? Which I haven't done. Yes. I don't want to make it too strong. Pour that into the just smooth it down like that. And I'm going to get a little paper and clean the edges. This is especially if you're putting it under the grill or broiler. Very important. I think I could have done with a casserole with an in-between size. I did look at one of my casseroles and think, yeah. And I thought, no, it's going to be a little bit on the small size. Just push the potato round to the edge, and this will freeze. So if you don't eat it all in one day, you can freeze it.
We'll eat it in one day.
Derek said we'll eat it in one day. I think we might actually. I'm going to get a spatula. I want to clean that out. Oh, excuse me. These are marvellous, the spatulas, for not wasting anything. You can get every little bit out. let's just push it to the edge. Now, if you're feeling really energetic, you could use a cream nozzle and pipe all the potato on the top. I do that for special occasions, but I don't have that many special occasions lately. I'm getting very old. I'm getting old and lazy in my old age. I'm taking the easy way out. We want to get that decorated, just a little bit of colour on there. It looks a bit insipid. So let's put a little paprika pepper, seeing as we're not going to brown the top. A little paprika pepper. This is a new paprika. I don't know if I've opened it yet. Ah, there we are. No, I haven't. Don't buy paprika pepper in huge amounts. It fades. It fades in the sunlight. So if you can keep it out of the sunlight, I'm probably going to transfer this into an opaque container. Just put a little paprika pepper on. Pat it with the finger, like that. Little paprika pepper, and we'll decorate it. I haven't got any green onions. I've only got green peppers. I've only got red peppers, so we'll have to use some red pepper. It adds a little bit of colour to it. But in the tradition, green pepper. Whoops, there we are. Just a little more, thinly sliced. And I want, let's see if I can get that piece. No, I want that piece, like that, to go into the centre. And there is Paddy's shepherd's pie, a Guinness shepherd's pie. And it tastes absolutely divine. It really does. Should we look in the oven to see how the cupcakes are doing? There. Look, they come out nice and clean. So they are cooked. Let's switch the oven off. So just, I always use that like that. So you see how well they've risen. So they're the cupcakes that we made. Let's put those on there, like that. And now let's do the cabbage, because it's not Paddy's Day without cabbage. Let's strain this. This is hot. Ooh, very hot. Let's put the top, ooh, yes, the top back on there, like that. Over there. Just a little cabbage for the two of us. I love cabbage. Must be the Irish in me. I got to Ireland from England, and all the time we lived there, I never went back. I never left Ireland. I was so happy there. It was lovely. So that is Paddy's Day. Oh, we forgot the cakes. What is Paddy's Day without cakes? And don't forget your Guinness. Very important. A good Guinness. So have a tremendous Paddy's Day. Enjoy March break, and I'll see you again next week. And please go to Mrs. Calabash Cooks, like and share on Facebook, and that's brilliant. And thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next week. Same time, 2 p.m. on Friday. So, okay. I'll tilt my hat to you all. And look, kiss me. Okay, guys, thank you very much. I'll see you. Thank you.